Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. EQA Nostalgia here to talk to you guys about Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. Now, this is a game I haven't covered on this channel in quite a long time. So, first things first, I just want to let everybody know this is not current footage. This is footage from about a year ago, roughly a year ago, when the game was still, it's still in the very early beginning stages of development. It does not look anything like this at all. I'm going to be showing you guys what it looks like now in a little while, but I just want to go over what the game is, how it's come to be, and just a few things about it, because I do have a lot of new subscribers to my channel that might not know. So in order to get up to where Pantheon is right now, I kind of have to go back into the past a little bit and talk about EverQuest, one of the original MMORPGs, pretty much the first 3D MMORPG, and a game that is vastly different from what MMOs are today. Brad McQuaid was a major part of that. He was the lead programmer and then later on became producer and lead designer for the game. And you fast forward to a more modern time, and he came up with a game called Vanguard. And Vanguard didn't do too well. It was a really good game, but it didn't have the proper amount of funding, and it was just kind of rushed out there. Sometimes, bad shit happens to good games, but too long didn't read version. It didn't do well, and it had a lot of potential, and eventually it just ended up getting shut down. So now we have all these games like World of Warcraft and all the other stuff that's out there. And what this game is, this is Brad McQuaid's attempt to make something that goes back to the simpler times in MMORPGs, more hardcore times. And this is just, it's pretty much the only game that's trying to do what made MMORPGs great in the first place. It's not going to be holding your hand. It's not going to be doing, a million quests and then go to the next zone, do a million quests. It's not going to be a solo type game. This is a community driven game. This is a game that's going to have hardcore elements. When you die, there's going to be repercussions for it. The world is going to be dangerous, and it's basically everything that I loved about EverQuest Online Adventures. And, when they first unveiled this game, they brought it to Kickstarter. It did not succeed. The Kickstarter did not reach its goals, and there was just a lot of trolling going on. I made a video about it. I'll put a link in the description, and I'll probably have a link that you guys can click on at the end of the video to see what that was all about if you're interested. But yeah, the short story here is that it didn't get off to a good start at all. And I honestly thought it was just completely over. I didn't think they were going to bounce back from that. But these guys are tenacious. Visionary Realms, they're not about to go down without a fight, okay? Now, this is footage that we saw, like I said, a year ago, and it was very rough. And if you go to the video for this on YouTube right now, you'll see people just trolling it, saying, oh, it looks awful, and this is garbage, because people don't know what, placeholder stuff is or what it means. So even to this day, there are a lot of trolls around this game. And at first I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about that and bring that into this, because I want it to be just focused on the video. But it is something that bears mentioning. There has been trolls around this game since its inception. People just trash on the game, and it's unfortunate. I'm not going to go into too many details, because I don't want to make this about the drama. But there are trolls out there, and I couldn't be more happy to see that this game is still coming along, and it's in a great position right now. They have secured a bit of funding on their website, and despite the odds, the fact that the Kickstarter has failed, and the fact that there are a lot of trolls messing with these guys, talking shit, they just haven't given up. In fact, I suspect that the trolling and the negative attitudes have only made them work harder, and I'm going to show you guys where the game is at right now. So when I say right now, obviously I mean a couple of months ago. This is not current. I don't know where they are right now. But you can see it looks so much better. And this is like a year later. Just a little bit under a year. Already it looks really good. And for MMORPGs, this looks phenomenal. If this was like an offline game, people would be like, yeah, it looks pretty good. But when you consider the fact that this is an MMORPG, it's not finished. It just looks amazing. Graphically, it looks amazing. The character animations have come a long, long way. And all the people that were talking shit, I was just laughing at them as soon as I saw this. Because people are just trashing on the animation and stuff. And it's so hard to get that through people's heads that, listen, it's just, this stuff is going to be worked out eventually. This is just to show the concept of what's happening. And as you can see, this does harken back, if you're an EverQuest player or an EverQuest Online Adventures player like myself, this does definitely harken back to the older days. Just seeing the wildlife, just kind of strolling around in the forest here, big time nostalgia. Immediately, this just screams EverQuest Online Adventures to me. And like I said, Vanguard, it didn't do well, but it did have that same feeling. Vanguard was pretty much the true EverQuest 2 and the true EverQuest Online Adventures 2, what it should have been, but never was. And just looking at this right here, you can just imagine the sand giants just stomping around down there, right over on that little cliff. Because if you played EverQuest, obviously you're familiar with that stuff, and I can see them out there right now. Hopefully they have stuff like that, but I'm sure they will. This just reminds me so much of Oasis, and it's not even done. And in the video, they're talking about how they want the sand and stuff to settle into a place where sand would settle in. So they're trying to get like physics and things done that are realistic. They don't want sand to be like on top of a cliff or something where it would easily be blown down into a valley. So they're working on all the details for stuff like that. So this is an elvish area, a forest outside of an elven city, and it looks amazing. The shadows look great. Everything just looks phenomenal, man. And I can't believe they made this much progress in a year. Now, obviously, MMOs are not just about the aesthetics. We're talking gameplay here, big time on the gameplay, stats, and all the complicated shit that goes into building a character and how your character interacts with the world, the spells, all that stuff. So it takes a long time to make this game, and the projected release date is in 2017. So we've got a little bit of a wait there, but you cannot expect MMORPGs to be done quickly. They take a long time. It's just the way it is. They take 5 years, sometimes more than 5 years. You can't rush an MMORPG. You have to take your time. Now, this footage you're looking at here is a little bit more dated than the other footage. It's quite a bit more dated. By how many months, I'm not sure. I'm not going to go back and look. It doesn't really matter. But this is older footage. Obviously, it's not the basic stuff that I showed you before. And even at this stage, it was looking pretty nice. Now, the character animations, you can tell, have been fleshed out way more since then. And at this point, I'm wondering where they are, because they haven't brought out a video in a little while. I know they're hard at work over there. Hopefully we do have something new coming up. Brad, if you're watching this, no pressure, I know you guys are working your asses off, man, and I gotta give you credit. You turned it around, and this is going to be amazing when it comes out. I cannot wait to play it. It's just an inspiration to me to never give up and to follow your dreams. This is something that, like I said, I thought this was done. I thought it was just stomped out. You've got people that were going against it, on top of the fact that it's so very niche. It seems like it's something that's quite niche. It's only appealing to us old school MMORPG enthusiasts. I don't see World of Warcraft guys picking this up. It's just, maybe they will. Maybe this will bring a new generation into what made MMORPGs great, because a great deal of that has been lost in translation, which really sucks. The community is what it's all about, and that seems to just be completely wasted on MMORPGs these days. People get into groups, they don't talk, they run dungeons at blazing speeds as fast as they can. They grind to end level so fast that they don't even remember the journey. That's not what MMOs are about, man. MMOs are about making friends and, sitting around a camp, killing shit and talking with people, making friends, and the bonds that come from that. That's why the EverQuest Online Adventures community is so strong. That's why we have so many members on Facebook right now. We've got, I think we got over 1,000 members that are on there talking to each other, and this game, EverQuest Online Adventures, came out almost a decade ago, and there's some seriously strong bonds there. I mean, I met my wife on EverQuest Online Adventures, for Christ's sake. It's a very powerful thing, and I think a new generation needs to explore what that's all about. I don't know if they will. It's up to them if they will. But it certainly is a lot easier for them to get into it with a new game with better graphics than trying to go back and play EverQuest from 1999. I mean, obviously EverQuest has been updated over the years, and it doesn't look as old as it used to, but still, it's not very welcoming for a new generation. So right now, what I want to do is I want to go through and I want to name off the different races and classes. I'm going to start with the races. I did do this in a previous video, but it's been so long. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it again. We have the Archai, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. They are kind of like an elemental race. They look really cool. Just if you were an EverQuest Online Adventures player, just think of it as like the summons from the magicians. They look a lot like that. So they're very interesting. And then we have the Dark Myrrh. Again, I hope I'm saying this right. Myrrh. Now, if I were to hazard a guess, I would think this is a Dark Elf race. That's where I'm standing with it right now. I'm hoping, because I do like Dark Elves, especially Necromancers. Totally badass. And next up, we have the Dwarves, which is self-explanatory. They're Dwarves. We have Elves, Gnomes. Gnomes kick ass. I don't care what you guys say, I love Gnomes. I will have a gnome, a wizard, or a mage type class. Halflings, we have halflings, because one cannot have too many short races. I like short races. I know there's people that absolutely can't stand them, but I've always liked playing them. They're short and they're crazy and they run around and they tear shit up. So yeah, halflings, and of course we've got humans. We've got ogres and trolls, two races that I love. Very EverQuest style here. This is what I like to see. This is stuff that was obviously in Vanguard as well. And yeah, I am the Archai. I'm dreading butchering that name, by the way. They're pretty unique. We haven't really seen anything like that, not to my knowledge anyway. So they're interesting. Okay, so next up we have the classes. We have the classic cleric, the crusader. Crusader, I'm guessing, is something like a paladin. We have the dreadlord, which is probably going to be your shadow knight. We have the druid, which makes me very happy because for some reason druids, they're not in a lot of MMORPGs, man. I like druids. I like to shapeshift, you know, I like to heal. I like to be able to nuke shit. Druids for the win. I'm definitely rolling a druid. We have the enchanter. It's another one you don't really seem to see too much of. I remember people absolutely wrecking shit with the enchanter on EQOA. It's always fun to charm stuff and make it do your bidding. We have the monk. Pardon me. We have the monk, which is, I don't know, it could go either way. It could be like a DPS class or maybe even a healer. Monks kind of tend to roll either way, or possibly a hybrid. We have the ranger class, which traditional EverQuest style, they were a ranged class that did DPS, but they also had some druid type spells. We have the rogue, which is your stealthy assassin. The shaman, which is kind of like a healer, but can do a bit more damage. Usually it has a lot of really good buffs. We have the summoner, which is pretty much the mage from EQOA. Summoners are a lot of fun. I will definitely have a summoner. We have the classic warrior and the classic wizard for dealing damage and tanking, respectively. So there you have it. We've got all the classic staples of high fantasy MMORPG epicness. I cannot stress enough how much I can't wait to play this game. I've got a rig that can actually run it. I did not have a rig that could run it the last time I made a Pantheon video, so I'm even more excited. I've transitioned from being a console pleb into being a PC elitist. I can't really say that. I do still play console games, rarely, but I do have consoles. But yeah, I've been holding out for EverQuest Online Adventures Revival, the private server for EQOA. Hopefully that happens, but it's not a guaranteed thing. If it doesn't happen, at least we'll have this. And I can tell you guys right now, if this is anything like Vanguard, and it looks like it's an awful lot like Vanguard, obviously without the bugs because it was rushed out, which I'm not blaming Brad for that. I know what happened. I know the whole story, dude. That really sucks. But if it's anything like that, this is going to feel a lot like EQOA. It's going to feel a lot like EverQuest. It's going to draw my community and the people that are subscribed to me, the reason why they're subscribed to me, at least for EQOA related purposes, not the other things I do naturally, it's going to draw you guys in. I'm telling you right now, I have faith in Brad McQuaid, I have faith in Visionary Realms that this game is going to kick ass. Now the next time we get an update video on the game, I will be rolling out footage on it and I will be doing the commentary. I'm going to keep you guys in the loop. I'm not going to fall out of the swing of things again, because I did do that for a while, man. I stopped making videos, but then again my channel kind of became quiet for I don't know how many months, and now I'm on the rebound, just trying to get videos out there and keep you guys entertained. If this is your first time to my channel, I ask that you please subscribe. I will be bringing out more content. As always, please take a moment to leave a like. It helps this video get up to the top of the queue list when people look for stuff, and it just helps my channel to grow. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you all in my next video.